That, believe it or not, is worth a fair bit of money. I'm talking 180 to £100. What is going on, guys? Welcome back to the free trading game collection challenge series. If you have missed anything so far, go check out the playlist because it is all listed. We have quite a few episodes and it will explain how I've managed to acquire everything that you see behind me. So, in this series, usually I will go out, source some deals, video game related, whether it be console and a few games or just a few games, or maybe even a console from some place and games from another. And then we bring them together, we sell part of it to make our money back, and then whatever's left over we take into CEX, trade it in, get a voucher, and then we pick up some games that we actually want for the collection. This is a series that has changed a lot along the way. We don't specifically do that anymore. I do look to do it wherever possible. However, in this instance, in this video, we're doing nothing of the sort. I did have a video planned. I had some boot sale footage, got some decent pickups. I think I've got one or two things to take into CEX, and I already have £12 in credit, and my local CEX has a couple of Mega Drive games I'm really interested in. So that will be in the next episode, because this is a bit of a mismatch, and I think this will add a fair bit of profit to the series, but also it will add a lot of games. We are about to fill up a lot of the remaining sections. I think over this way. At the moment, I've got a lot of things like this, which is for the football shirt series that I'm waiting to get through. The football shirts are they're so easy to pick up compared to video games, because everyone knows video games are worth money. Not everyone knows football shirts are worth money, in particular older football shirts. Anyway, let's get into what the hell this episode is going to be. So, it was Father's Day yesterday. I hope this is going out on Monday. So I went over to my father-in-law's house and we sat down for a little while, had a little chat. And then, out of nowhere, it came around that there were some things in the shed that I was welcome to. Now, I knew this already because he'd already offered me like loads of like vinyl, like albums, like LPs, back at Christmas time, and it just never came to fruition. But anyway, we sat there and it just came around. However, and this is the painful thing about this, right? We could be sat on thousands. We're not, unfortunately. And the reason for that is because it was just poorly stored. The shed was falling apart. Obviously, we've had a lot of rain in the UK, as we always do, and things were stored in cardboard boxes and bags rather than plastic tubs. There were plastic tubs in there. They were full of Lego. Lego's worth money, but I don't know enough about it to sort of go through it. Anyway, I picked out what I could that I thought I could salvage, and a lot of it is video game related, and we're going to go through it. And in fact, I've got a lot of video games, and a lot of these are in very good condition. In fact, I don't think there's any that are in bad condition. These were stored in a different shed that wasn't quite as falling apart. But I'm going to go through the stuff that I'm going to be able to sell on for a bit of profit. I am going to give them some money as well, but and all this is going to be very up in the air with regards to values, because the damage is quite substantial in a lot of places, and a lot of people are going to squirm at this, and I do apologise, but it's part of the series and I've got to show you. So let's get into the very first item. So the very first item is something that I used to own myself, not the exact one, I had a different one. It is a Gears of War item. It's essentially a collectible. It is a Lancer. Oh, it's a big boy. From 2011, I think. You can put batteries in it and it fires and makes noise and stuff. I haven't actually tested that. Unfortunately, this is not in the best of conditions. I mean, it's okay. It's not bad, but it does have a broken sight and the bayonet is missing. But apart from that, it's not bad. The marks on it are meant to be there. I've cleaned it up a little bit. That, believe it or not, if it was in, non-broken condition, shall we say, that would be £120. And I know you're like, no, it's not. Yeah, it is. It is. I sold mine ages ago for 100 or 90 or something like that. I looked this one up, and this one's a lot less common, and it is around £100, £120. I think I'm going to look to get about 20, 30 quid for it, because someone will still want this, even in this condition. But that's the first item. With regards, I'm not going to just tot this up as we go along, because I'm going to need to be very conservative, and I'm going to need to go through it bit by bit. So I'm going to just show you it all. I'm going to give you off the top of my head figures, because I haven't looked through a fair few things. and then at the end I will give you a much better idea of how much money we can expect to make. I think there's actually a bit broken there as well. Thinking about it, there should be something else there. Either way, 20 to 30 I would imagine. Now I do have an entire box here. Like, I'll show you the lid of the box. I can't pick it up, it's too heavy. That's the lid, right? And you can imagine how deep the box is. It is deep. And it's full of collectibles. I'm talking things like this, for example. So we have a Halo 4 still in packaging. The problem with this is water damage, basically, because they weren't stored properly. So this one, I think, is this the one? Yeah, this is the one that's actually come open a little bit, so this one isn't in great condition. That wouldn't have been worth much anyway, to be fair, but because it's never technically been removed from the box, I am still going to be able to list this as, okay, in box badly damaged, but never removed from box. So even though it's not, people aren't going to want to put that on their shelf, out of box collectors will know that it is brand new. Does that make sense? So that's one. I've got a lot of things, but not everything falls under the video game category. And even though I could easily say, look, this is the entire lot that I had, and I'm going to use the money to go and buy whatever, I am actually going to just show you the video game stuff, because that's all I want to include in the series for obvious reasons. Let me dig out a couple of other video game related items. Okay, in terms of the collectibles, you could actually argue that a lot of them are video game related, because a lot of them are like Marvel and DC. They all have video games. You could kind of argue that, and some of them, if they were in good condition, I've got a couple of Watchmen figures in there, if they were in good condition, they would be worth 60 quid a piece. Unfortunately, they are heavily damaged, so I don't expect to get anywhere near that. This one, though, this one's a decent one. The box has got a little bit of a crinkle in the side, but because it's all plastic, it has survived quite well. This is BioShock 2, Big Sister and Little Sister. This obviously is quite old, because BioShock 2 is quite an old game now, really, in comparison to modern stuff. That, believe it or not, is worth a fair bit of money. I'm talking 180 to £100, maybe more, but because of the condition, it's obviously going to be less. But never removed from box, brand new. If I can give you a better close-up, I will. But I mean, that is an absolute banger to add to, not the collection, because I don't want to keep it, but, and I just dropped it. But I am going to add that, obviously, to the value. Now, I am going to be super conservative, and I'm going to take out a chunk to give to family members and stuff for actually letting me go through the whole shed in the first place. The next thing is magic. I've nearly bought this a few times on Facebook. I love this, even though I'm not really a massive fan of the game. So this is the collector's edition for Killzone 3. This was just in a plastic bag by the back door, if you could believe it. They were about to, I think, put it in the shed or something. I think they've got a new shed now, which was a little bit nicer. But it does actually, the helmet lifts up. I don't want to break this. The helmet lifts up off it. I won't show you. But inside isn't the game, unfortunately, but there is a collector's edition like booklet. But that, I love it. I'm a big fan of... I know it's not Wolfenstein, it is Killzone, but it does remind me of like Wolfenstein and that kind of stuff. I love it. There is a bit of a kink in one of the pipes, you won't be able to see it properly. But apart from that, and you can't even see it, I love it. To the point where I think I'm going to keep that, and it will go on the shelf behind me somewhere. I'm going to have to rejig things. I might have to put some shelves up, but that is staying. Something that I think goes with this as well is next to me. So fans of the series are going to have to tell me, but there is a figure here, and I'm almost certain that is to do with Killzone, and I'm almost certain it's to do with the special edition as well. I might be wrong. Unfortunately, I don't have any... it's just like the blister pack, or the thing that it sits in. I don't actually have any of the artwork that goes around it. That it wasn't destroyed. I'm just guessing it was taken out of it. But there he is in all his glory. Looks kind of cool. Am I going to keep it? Absolutely not. Is he worth anything? To be honest, I haven't even looked that up, so I've got no idea. But something else to throw onto the pile, if you will. And then we get into closer to video game items than ever before. We have some strategy guides. 3 strategy guides. A lot of people would have overlooked these. Not that I'm saying I'm an expert or anything, but I know how valuable certain strategy guides can be. I had a sealed Fallout 3, I think it was, hardback strategy guide. That ended up selling for like £35, £40, but that was a long time ago. now, I would imagine it would be 50 quid at least. These aren't quite as valuable. In fact, they're nowhere near as valuable, but they are still, they hold money. So this is the Alan Wake. They remade this. I'm pretty sure they remastered it or they remade it or something. But this was out on the Xbox 360 originally, I believe. It originally cost £13 according to the back. This still sells for between 10 and 15. And I think it's because of the revival of it, because they remade it or re-released it or whatever. So that's pretty good. Up next, more or less two of the same. Not really, but yes. So the first up is Final Fantasy 13. This is a hardback. See, didn't lie. Very good condition, stored in the goods shed. And again, that should be around 10. I would say 10 to 15 is probably closer to 10. And then the next one, I don't know how what is this? Final Fantasy 13-2. Right, that makes no sense, but there it is. It's a hardback, but it's also padded. It's really weird. This one isn't in as good condition as the others, and because it's white, obviously, it makes sense. But it's still, all the pages are good and dandy and everything. But that, again, is another 10 to 15, probably closer to 10. Then we get into the actual games, or at least for the very beginning, the game cases. So, what do I mean by game cases? Well, I saw this. This is a Pokemon Platinum Edition tin. Obviously, the game came in here at one point. The game isn't in here now. Just to interject, I hadn't done any research on this, and I've just done it now. This tin it amazed me. I'm not going to add it into anything just yet because I can't believe it. This is the only one that's recently sold. The cheapest one on eBay right now is what, like £150, £200? That is mental. I did not expect that at all. Next up, we have Rise of the Tomb Raider Steelbook. Again, none of these have the games in there, but if I ever see a Steelbook, I'm going to pick it up just in case. It might be worth money by itself. If not, then I can get the game, put it in there. It'll look good on the shelf, or I can sell it and it'll be worth more money. So that's that one. Next up is Metal Gear Solid Revengeance. Is that a word? Is that what it actually says? Revengeance. That is awful. There we go. I'm pretty sure that's Xbox 360 or something because it's quite long. But there's that one. Next up, I was almost sick when I picked it up, but there it is. PES 2013 Manchester United cover. That is so reflective. I do apologise. Believe it or not, that is around £8. I have looked that up. And it's in decent condition. And then up next, Marvel vs. Capcom. Fate of Two Worlds, and I believe this is Xbox 360. It's around 2011-ish, I think. That is something that I might keep. I don't have the game. I have the game on PlayStation 4. Obviously, this is Marvel vs. Capcom 3. I have the game on PS4, but I would like to get this on the 360 because it's not expensive, and put it in the tin and maybe put it on the shelf. Or sell it if indeed it does go for money. But some tins there, don't sleep on steelbooks. They are, or some of them can be worth money, but you'll never lose money if you can pick it up for free, obviously, or if you could pick it up for like a 50 pence or something. So, should we get into the games? These are all PlayStation 1 games. Yeah, that's right. Now, unfortunately, a lot of these are very samey, and you'll understand what I mean in just a second. But let's kick things off with probably the only one that I'm looking to sell. This is NFL Extreme for the PlayStation. Obviously, I'm not going to say for the PlayStation every time. This is in a really, it's in a plastic case. It's different, but also it wasn't meant for resale. It was meant for rental. So I'm guessing it came from a Blockbuster or something. That, believe it or not, is worth about 8 to 10, roughly. All these games are in good condition. They're all, apart from that one, they're all complete with manuals, which is quite nice, and the discs, like I said, are in decent condition. We have a demo disc for FIFA 2000, and amongst other things, I don't really care about demo discs. That'll probably find its way toward the bin or something. Up next, Simpsons Wrestling. Again, like I said, I'm going to show you one. There's the manual. There's the game. They're all complete, every single one of them, and they're in really good condition as well. They were stored kind of well. The cases can be, there's a crack there, for example. The cases can be a little bit dodgy, but for the most part anyway, not bad. I'm going to turn my ring light off, and I do apologise if that's made it too dark to see, but you won't get the reflection anymore. So, Star Wars Episode 1 Phantom Menace. That is a game I remember playing. probably not a game I'll go back to anytime soon, but I am looking to keep that. As a bit of dust on there or something, a bit of dirt even. But I'm gonna look to keep all of these, except maybe this one as well, actually. So this is what I would call ISS Pro 98. This, believe it or not, is a £10 to £15 game, and the reason this is a £10 to £15 game is because, if you can see there, Metal Gear Solid. Playable demo included. I don't know why people care, because the Metal Gear Solid game isn't expensive, but I think it's just the fact that this is quite, I wouldn't say rare, but there's the Metal Gear Solid disc, and then I have the ISS disc as well, International Superstar Soccer. But that, yeah, is around, what did I say, 10 to 15? I sold it not so long ago, actually. Picked it up from someone who sold me a big job lot of games, so not bad. Up next is going to be Spyro, Year of the Dragon. I've got no idea how much that's worth. It is the Platinum version, so I'm a massive fan of it. I might look to swap that out with a proper version, if you will, a black label. But that's another one. I'm not going to dwell on these games, because they're not, like, amazing. Up next is Small Soldiers. Haven't actually played that. There was a Small Soldiers game on the PC. Played that, where you could actually make your own soldier and work, like, build him up and stuff and level him up and things. That was kind of cool. Up next is a game that I'm not a big fan of at all. Theme Park World. I prefer the original Theme Park, but, you know, it's neither here nor there. That is, again, complete, very heavy, but it is the classics version. I'm not a big fan of it. But on the shelf, it'll look fine, so that's okay. Up next, one of my favourite games of all time. Don't laugh. It is Monopoly. I love Monopoly, big fan. Every console I ever own, I get this game. Not worth much, but still. Then we're into a bit of a... Well, actually, let's do this one first, because this one is the only one that's not in good condition. It does have the manual, but it is absolutely trashed. It is Toy Story 2. It is faded. It has marks, dust, cracked case, everything all over it. I will try and tidy that up and put it on the shelf, because it won't look too bad, but... I will definitely have to look to replace that case, because that case is, I would say, 70% of the problem. Then we get into the samey games, and I think you know, I mean, we've already had a couple so far, but you're going to get the idea after maybe the second. So, LMA Manager 2002, played that a little bit back in the day, but not a whole lot. And the reason for that is because I was hooked on the next game for... I mean, to be fair, I want to say about 5 years. I played this game solidly for 5 years, and you just don't get that anymore, and that is Football Manager 98. Now, I didn't play it on the PlayStation 1, I actually played it on the PC. However, I have played this, and it is a lot different to the PC version, but it is still very enjoyable. I am going to have so much fun going back through these games and looking at the players and how much they were asking for transfers and stuff. Up next, we've got a bit of a break from the... Actually, there's two breaks. So Army Men 3D up next. Again, I don't think it's really worth an awful lot, but that's another game. Like I said, most of these will stay in the collection. You'll start seeing them behind me after I clean them up a little bit. Up next is Die Hard Trilogy. My favourite Die Hard game of all time is Die Hard Arcade on the Sega Saturn. Definitely something I want to pick up in the future. However, out of curiosity yesterday, I thought, I'll go and have a look at the price. They want about £75 for that. This is about a £6 game, and it's platinum as well, which doesn't... I mean, look at look how ugly it is compared to the rest of them. Crazy. Right. Now we're into the same old, same old. So, we have UEFA Champions League 1998 to 1999. They do have Liverpool on the back, which is a little bit surprising. Were we really that predominant in Europe then? I'm not sure. Maybe it was just easy to obtain our license. Up next, This Is Football. Another football game. Incidentally, I have actually played all these. Not like to test them. I mean, in the past when they originally came out. This I actually played on the PC. Bit of a theme. Actua Soccer 2 with Alan Shearer on the front. That is a very clunky game, that one. I mean, it's not bad. It's just clunky compared to the other games. Let me pick these up. So this one's a bit of a banger. We have FIFA 97. Who remembers that bad boy? The first indoor football FIFA that you could get, and then I'm pretty sure they took it away 2 FIFAs later. But there we are. Not a football game. Sticking with sport, but not a football game. We have Jonah Lomu Rugby. This I lived on. Believe it or not, I don't like rugby. Not a fan of it. Can't watch it. Bores the tits off me. However, This is a great game. That and Rugby 95 on the Mega Drive, two of my favourite sports games of all time, believe it or not. But that was fantastic. The commentary in this as well, I can't remember his name. Bill McLaren and Bill Beaumont? Can't remember his name. Either way, great game. Final three, and they're all pretty much the same thing. The FA Premier League Stars. This was a good game, to be fair. Not bad at all. Didn't mind it. Don't try not to make a mess. This one's not really worth anything, and I'm not a big fan of it. I don't really understand it. I've never played it. I've never even seen it before. It is Three Lions. Just an England football game. I don't know anything about that. Never seen it before. Don't really want it, but I will put it in just to see what it's all about. But I'm guessing, can you only play as England? That would be a little bit stupid, but there we are. I don't know. And then finally, Olympic soccer. This one's not in great condition either. The case is very dirty. The inserts and everything fine. Feels heavy enough that it has the manual in it, and I know I've checked it anyway. And there we are. That is a massive stack of games. Now, unfortunately, there weren't any really old like Final Fantasy games or even Silent Hill or Resident Evil, the games that I would have actually loved to have had. But these were unfortunately, well, not unfortunately. I mean, I'm happy to have them. These are all for free. Bear in mind, right? So not bad. I say these are all for free. Technically speaking, they're not, because I am going to give a chunk of profit from elsewhere to pay for everything, because obviously I want to keep these PS1 games. Nice big stack of PS1 games. I want to keep them for the most part anyway. I want to keep the Killzone head. I want to keep the tins for now, but I probably will look to sell them. The strategy guides are definitely going. The Bioshock figure, 100% going. And that Halo figure, and probably the Killzone figure, and then that Lancer as well. If anyone wants it, I'll just stick it on Facebook and see if someone can come pick it up for like 20-30 quid. I don't know if I'll ever look to ship that, because it is very big and clunky, but we'll see. Not sure. So let's go through some figures. So I've just been going through a few things. Believe it or not, this, had it been in good condition, and by good, I mean literally just this at the top, right? If it remained sealed and then this wasn't ripped away, because the back is fine, more or less, that would be £20 to £25. Believe it or not, people are crazy. However, I'm probably looking closer to 10, maybe at a very push 15, but probably £10. Going to allocate 90 to that Bioshock, but I am going to take a huge chunk to give to the obviously fan members that I picked it up from, and also to be conservative with it as well. The Killzone figure is actually goes with the collection edition helmet, which I thought was the case anyway, but that can go for 20 quid, just the figure, and in very good condition. I mean, there was one that's bit like the white of it. Let me show you. So that is all like meant to be like a clear, like he's meant to be invisible or something. That in the sun goes yellow, right? So there is someone selling one or has sold one that went a bit yellow. He got like £10 for it, and that was with yellowing. This one has never been removed from the packet. It still has the protective things that go around it. It still has the gun as well, which is an item that a lot of them are missing for obvious reasons. But that, I'm not going to keep it to go with the collector's edition. If it was in, I don't even think it came in a case then. It must have been in a big box with the helmet in it and this slotted in as well as the artwork in the game. I can't imagine this actually came with a box. So to be fair, if that's the case, this is brand new and I can sell it as such. So we'll see. But again, being conservative, like 10 to 15 or something. In total, I think we're probably looking at around £70 cash for now. I've not taken the Pokemon tin into consideration because that took me by surprise. I wasn't expecting that, but I've just left that out because that's one of those, it could go for 50, it could go for 150. I just don't know. So I'm going to leave it out. It's just I don't want to be too vague with it, so I'll just leave it out for now and I'll add it as and when I know what's happening with it. So £70, that's with a big commission taken out, of course, and very conservative prices on things because I just don't know. That's going to go into the cash profit. that's quite exciting. But what's more exciting is the amount we're adding to the collection value. So those PlayStation games, I'm going to assign £5 per game. You might be thinking there's no way you'll be able to get £5 for some of those football games, and you're absolutely right. We're looking at £2 to £3 for those. But because ISS is a £10 to £15 game, I think the Army, Small Soldiers is like 6 to 8. Die Hard is 6 to 8. I can't remember what the games were, but a lot of them are 6 to 8. Some of them are 10 to 15. Spyro is around 10. So it balances out. It evens out. I'm happy to say £5 each. That's fine. That's £100. And then that helmet, which is kind of half falling off the TV, I just got nowhere to put it. I was going to try and put it up there and rejig things. It doesn't even fit on the shelf. I'm going to have to put a shelf across there. But I really want a TV for this area, and I just can't seem to find one within the price range I'm willing to spend, basically. So I will get on that, and I'll try and make a very conscious effort to put a TV there so we can put a shelf at the right height above it. We can get that up there, we'll put the lamp up there, and we'll start to make it look a little bit prettier. But I'm going to slap 20 quid on that helmet. I think I could probably get about 35, 40, especially if I put that figure with it, because it has the artwork book inside as well. The only thing missing is the actual game, which I think is about £4 game. It's not expensive. So if I really wanted to complete the collection, or the collector's edition, I think all I need to do is buy the game for £4, and I have the Killzone 3 collector's edition. £20 on that with the PlayStation games, £120 going into the collection, with around 70, it will be more, going into the cash. That's pretty good. Now, next week, or next episode, it won't be a week, but the next episode, I have boot sale footage, maybe some, do I have some charity shop footage? I don't know, and I will go into CEX, and we'll spend some of the voucher money and things as well, so there'll be a normal episode. And then going forward, we're going to keep doing this, obviously, but I want to try and put in one episode a week where we actually walk into CEX with part of the cash, and we look to pick up Xbox 360 games, maybe PS3 games, and maybe anything else that takes our fancy, but mainly those type of games. The Xbox One right now is low. The prices are very, very low. They're only ever going to go up. They won't go lower. They can't. A lot of the games are like £1. Some of them are 50 pence. You can go into CEX with a budget of £5 and come out with 6 or 7 top quality games. Maybe they've been remastered on other platforms, Xbox One, PS4 or whatever, fine. But a lot of them haven't, and some of them are still very, very cheap. And I don't want a massive Xbox 360 collection, but I want a collection. So I'm thinking maybe we take £5 or £10 from the series profit. We'll still do it as part of the series, but we go into CEX and we spend £5, £10 a week on these games to build up the 360 collection, and just do that as a one-off once a week. If you like that idea, let me know. If you don't, that's fine, let me know as well. But that's going to do it for today. If you have enjoyed this episode of the Free Trading Game Collection Challenge, hit the like button, subscribe to the channel if you're new, and until the next time, goodbye.